And we are on the air. Ideal Comics is live, coming at you from various locations around various parts of this great country. I am, of course, in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, as I typically am, although I was in Alliance earlier today. With me is our artist and co-partner, Barry Tetz.
Hello, Marmaduke. Hello, people.
And joining us is our good friend, number one Marmaduke fan.
Thanks for having me on. Nice to meet you, Barry.
Yes, sir. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Been hearing.
You guys haven't been on stream before yet.
No, sir. No.
So we are here, of course, and I have no idea if anyone is watching because I am that kind of coordinated today.
Let me tune in. I'll check, man. I'm on my.
I'm
on my
put that over here too.
Yeah.
Because now that I discovered a fancy little tool that they have in place here to check that kind of thing. Oof. I also did a really quick mini stream just live on my channel to advertise that we were going to be doing this up here. So I think the only person watching. Oh, hey, Scott Bruckner is with us in the chat. Hello, Scott. So I am getting ready to click the button. I'm going to go ahead and go over here and do the thing and just see what happens here. And hope I got all my I's dotted and my T's crossed. I think I did. The one thing I was really nervous about was making sure that I got the everything set that needed to go for shipping on it. So, but I think so.
So. Are you going to tweet out the link too?
What?
Are you going to tweet out the link to the live stream too?
Oh yeah, if you guys want to tweet out, I just barely tweeted it myself just before I hit go live on it. So if you guys want to, it should be on my thing there just now. So yeah.
And once it goes live, you know how long it takes for it to like update on our end?
Brian Lusing followed our Ideal Comic.
Hello?
I hear you.
Okay. I think my mic just kicked out for a second. Or just my
yeah.
Okay. Got it.
I don't know. Barry, are you hearing us okay? I am not. Are you just giving me crap, or can you actually not hear me?
I muted myself. I muted myself because I was swearing at myself.
Family friendly Christian YouTube
That's
channel.
Right. That's right. That's thinking of the kids.
I'm for pushing big values, not necessarily pushing little values. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I think to be a good person is still, be a little salty. So, okay, yeah, we are live, and I've got the I'm gonna hang out. Okay, guys, I can't talk and type very effectively at the same time.
It's a not easy skill to come by, that's for sure.
It's not. I hear some people that are just like aces at it. Like,
oh yeah. I work with a lot of them that can do that. A lot of gals that because we're on the dispatch all the time. So, yeah.
Ooh, I think I see it. Tales of Shadow, Vox Populi, issue 1.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one. Yeah.
60 days left. All right.
That's right, kids. Only 60 days left.
Only 60. Get it while it's hot.
Let me share that real quick.
Well, of course, if we reach our goal, our $2,000 goal, we'll be able to go into demand, and then people can get it up until we actually go to press with it.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And I was really hoping that Rico could join us today, but I don't think that that's going to be able to work out because I think he has Saturday Night Mass.
Gotcha. Do you have different artists doing like different aspects of the book?
Yeah. So Rico, who does the warehouse and does Joe Jobs, he's doing the pencil art. And Barry is, of course, doing the inks and the colors. And I'm doing story and letters. So.
I'm looking at all the perks you've got. It's similar to what you showed, what I saw on your stream last night. Did you do like a little bit of moving around right before you went live?
Yeah, we did a little bit of moving around. I was talking to you last night, thinking about that there were only 6 monster slots in the book. I was like, maybe that's worth a little more.
So Reese, I'm actually working on the cover if you want me to share it.
Oh yeah, do it, man, do it.
Okay.
That's always fun if you got like drawing content to showcase.
Yeah, Rico turned out this awesome cover so far, and I haven't screwed it up yet. So I'm going to go ahead
and on the Indiegogo is the yeah.
What's that?
It's got a mock-up of the cover that we did. So
okay, cool.
So it just has the title and it's black and white. Just the thing of the video, which I'm going to go ahead and share the thing because why not, right? Okay.
Could you tell me a little bit about the ash can? Because I think I chatted with you a bit about some of the perks, but I didn't get to hear about the ash can. Is that going to be a prequel series?
No, it's actually not necessarily. We're actually discussing a couple of different projects that we are working on for it, but it's another in-universe story that is not directly related to the events going on in Vox Populi.
Okay.
So it's just another peek into our universe. And there are, I think, there are 3 little comics that we are deciding between, and once we have that decision made, we're going to go ahead and advertise that as well. But yeah, it's not, you wouldn't have to read it to get that, but it's just another peek into the kind of content that we have available. And if I believe I am sharing my screen here. So if
hey, Doug, what's going on?
No, it doesn't look like I'm doing it. It didn't. Oh, here, hang on. There we go. That should be up there with a sneak peek of our thing, and that's the cover of our page right there. So, of the mock-up of the cover.
I think you just got a backer. Who could it be?
I don't know. But I don't know.
I don't know, but he's my favorite. All right, so I am now sharing the.
It says my screen says $0 raised by 1 backer.
They don't have money, but they're very dedicated.
Okay, we've got actually at the $20 level, somebody came on, and let's. I don't know. Well, I'm gonna stop my screen sharing just in case I get into some.
I'm not screen sharing, man, so he could.
Oh, hey, check that out. Check that out, Barry. I'm gonna white box you. And Doug Garrett, thanks for joining us.
So Garrett, how we doing, sir?
I'm doing good. Glad to be here with you guys.
Yes, sir. Thank you for joining us.
Ooh, are you rocking Photoshop CS5 there or CS6?
I'm actually not. This is used to be called Manga Studios. Now it's Clip Art Studios.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
I think I bought that and forgot to install it.
It's really nice. I really enjoy it. I run this. I use also Corel.
Yeah.
You know, so to do the little painty stuff. So
yeah.
This one is just mostly for comics, whatnot. Right now, I'm just working on. I got Mr. Expositioner done here. Got the monsters done here in the background. I'm working on the line art for the background, the city, and then we're going to start doing the colors. This is actually kind of I'm behind on this because I had a fun issue with my laptop dying on me last week. So what's that?
Do you work with traditional pencils and then trace inks in Manga Studio, Clip Art Studio?
Actually, Rico, our artist gentleman who couldn't join us so far tonight, he's the one that's doing the pencils. Actually, I'm doing the inks over in digital on manga, and then I'm doing the colors also in manga and a mix of the painterly ones in Corel. Because Corel has amazing painty things. That's the technical term, I believe. Painty thingies. Let's see. I'm gonna leave off. I really like this page, Reese. What do you think?
Dude, I love that page.
Well,
Yeah, I mentioned that last night when we first brought it over. So.
very nice. This camera takes up some room.
So, Doug, what are you finding yourself busy with today?
Oh, was that addressed at me? I'm sorry.
It was. You were the only Doug in here today. So.
No Doug Annapolis.
On the spot.
I pretty much, I just been chilling today. I'm still kind of under the weather.
Nope.
It was absolutely beautiful here today, so I went outside a few times and just tried to enjoy the beautiful day.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been wonderful here as well. Durakin, thanks for coming on the stream. Appreciate you stopping by today. We're just talking about art programs, and we got our first backer today.
It was not me.
I'm pretty excited about.
Cool.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
the art programs are terrible. I win the debate.
Now you do some amazing color work. What's your weapon of choice there?
I use Photoshop CS6. Pirated version.
Oh, fancy.
That's my favorite version.
I have one, but I don't use it anymore. I use it since I got these, I think.
I kind of missed the whole Adobe Apocalypse thing because I had a good deal locked in. So my plan is if they ever try to jack up my price, then I'm jumping ship. But for now I'm ready to use the stream.
If they ever get you.
Well, that was the whole thing of the when they put everything on a cloud service and subscription, is they don't have to update it and they can just keep on charging you.
Right? Yeah. That's just it.
So even if you get regular updates, you're still getting ripped off.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That.
We have I colored our one webcomic, Joe Jobs. And I use, I'm super old school. I actually have a copy of Paint Shop Pro 8 that I bought off a shelf in Target in 2007 for like $30. And I've been limping that thing along. It was, of course, designed for Windows 98, but I'm still using it. And I like it. I like it a lot. I've also started using Krita to do flood fills because it's a little smarter about it. But I'll toggle between the programs pretty easily. But I don't do nearly the kind of coloring that you, Derek, or Barry do. I'm very Bush League with that, but I really enjoy it nonetheless.
I remember back when I first tried to color, back in 2003 it was. My grandfather had a computer from the mid 90s, and I had an Adobe program. I don't remember what it was, but it was in Photoshop. And the computer was so slow that every time I tried to make a stroke with the mouse, it would take a minute for it to catch up. So I just had to paint the entire thing pretty much
I remember those
with it in my mind, while the computer just caught up an hour later. So
That's awful. So you just do the whole thing and then just wait for it to do the math behind it.
yeah, it wasn't
That's
good
amazing.
painting, but it was competent enough for what it was.
Line contour drawing.
Right? He was making it.
That's frankly amazing. I don't know how else to phrase that even. It's remarkable.
Well, you got to make use of whatever you can have at the time. So
Well, I think that makes sense. I think that's a reasonable position to make.
Yeah, you just got to make use of whatever you can pirate at the time.
yeah, I didn't have my own computer until 2003, when I was in college, and I convinced my grandfather to buy me one.
Hey, you got a second back.
That's kind of how I did it.
Oh yeah? I'm gonna go check that screen out on the down low so I don't disclose any personal information. I want to keep it nice and secret.
But honestly, if you're going to, each of the programs have their own benefits, and like when I was making maps, there's this there's a filter in Photoshop. It's the cloud render cloud thing, and you use that to create like a texture for mountains, and it doesn't do it right in Photoshop. It doesn't create. It's not compressed enough. So I had to use GIMP for that. So I have GIMP and Photoshop on my computer.
Yeah, GIMP is great. I just lost my patience with it. I don't know when, 10 years ago or so. But I should, if I'm going to do any more 3D stuff, it's definitely one I would turn to.
Well, I really like the flexibility that GIMP has. My problem is that I'm just spoiled. PaintShop Pro, for being an ancient program, is just super intuitive. So the learning curve, I started using Corel. My parents got me Corel Draw back in high school. And so I used the Corel Draw suite, so I had Draw, Photo Paint, and I got pretty used to that back in the old pre-95 days, right? I had a Windows 3.11 machine. And the learning curve from that to the PaintShop Pro, which did both vector and raster stuff, was so small, right? That I have a really hard time branching out to do anything different, because it's like, well, I know how to do something close to what I want in this ancient program, and so far it keeps working. So it's I do have to be careful though, because the one thing about it is it doesn't index its undo correctly for newer operating systems. So I can only go back 5 commands, and then it forgets what it's done. And that could be a challenge. I have to save often, save early, save often.
I have that restriction on Photoshop because of memory. Only like 6 or 7 history things. Oh. If I mess up, it's just restart, or hopefully I did it in like 6 moves.
Well, little update, guys. I just had somebody decide that I needed to. They were going to subject themselves to one of my little sketches. So
I couldn't resist, dude. I couldn't resist.
That's okay.
You're a brave man, man.
Well, yeah. Well, Marmaduke is you have of course seen a little of my sketch work before there, and I have a little thing. And the one thing I got to say about the way this thing played out, and I'm a little annoyed with at the moment. I think it might be my connection. Perks. So I'm gonna have to go back in and do that, because it was being just obnoxious. But yeah, so that's where we're at with that right now. So I know like the first few, they've got pictures, they look really interesting, and then you get down the page and you're just like, did this guy stop caring? No, it was my connection.
That happens to me sometimes too. For sure.
So, and I'm tempted to try again, but with streaming, kind of forget about it,
Could you tell us, for people who are watching, tell us a little bit about like where did the expositioner come from? Like, how'd you create the character?
Okay. Well, it's we created the character. My buddy Chris Lawton and I, who co-founded the company way back in the day, and we were just trying to come up with the superheroes, and just trying to come up with original characters. We tried to pitch around to some indie companies, and with that, we ended up finding that we both had this affection for the hard-boiled detective, and where that intersected with like the classic old school superheroes. So you got your Sandman, you got the Shadow, you've got Slam Bradley, you've got even Batman and the Spider, all those guys that kind of that kind of met at the place where the pulps left off and the comic books picked up at, right? And so we wanted to get something that was similar to that. And with the first part of all the work, Chris did a lot of the heavy lifting with creating the character, and he said, "What do you think about this?" And we tweaked the idea back and forth. Now, the name Expositioner was originally just a placeholder, right? Chris wanted to be able to use the device of internal monologue of giving it that tonal quality that a lot of those old tough guy detectives had, and so he put that in there as a placeholder. And I said, I think this name is awesome. It's got a classic feel to it for anybody who loves detective stories and loves those paradigms. He said, "You really think it's good?" And I said, "I think it's great." And so we've had it with the name since then, that's kind of where that all came from. And Chris's original idea was the story of how Expositioner became the disgraced outlaw detective. And so he started mapping out the story that led to him being on the run. And that's a story called October Leaves. I'm not sure, if when we're going to get to that. It kind of got sidelined as we started working on these other projects. And this story, Vox Populi, started bubbling in my head about a year and a half ago. Almost 2 years ago, with trying to take that character and look at what the next phase of his adventure is going to be.
Yeah.
And so that's where this particular story came from. But the character itself was inspired by those detective archetypes.
Have you read Midnight Mystery yet from Alternative Comics?
I haven't. Well, I haven't read it yet. I'm very excited to.
I think you'll really get a kick out of it. Like I wasn't the biggest noir guy. I think one of our teachers had us watch some German noir for like an assignment, and I still haven't gotten into it, but I love that type of character so much. Like it influenced Batman and all that kind of stuff. I've been wanting to get into those types of films more. Do you have like a short list of maybe like good movies for exhibitioner fans to check out?
Oh, okay. Let me see. I love The Big Sleep. With Humphrey Bogart. He doesn't do, I would say, it's probably not the best Philip Marlowe, because Marlowe has this like this heart of night in like he's a man out of time is part of the piece with. Let me back up. A lot of the tough guy detectives, they were written in between the world wars, right? Yeah. And so a lot of the guys that write these Chandler and Hammett and these guys, they had been to war and they'd come back, and World War I was the kind of thing that nobody thought could happen, right? People had believed that humans had evolved beyond that level of barbarism.
Yeah.
Right? And then so World War I broke a lot of people's minds in it, and that's a lot of themes within the tough guy detective novels, a lot of that stuff. So the thing about Philip Marlowe is that Philip Marlowe is a noble, like almost a chivalrous character in a world made of dirt and grit and human depravity, right? And so that's the kind of a juxtaposition that goes into his character. Bogey plays him Bogey, and Bogey's characters are always a little bit dirtier than maybe they could be, a little bit down low than maybe they could be, and he was great at that. That's one of the differences between Sam Spade and Philip Marlowe, right? Is that what level of altruism they had, but still, The Big Sleep is a great one in genre. Double Indemnity with Fred McMurray is friggin' amazing. It's sort of surprising that it doesn't get more traction today. But Gaslight is a great noir thriller. It's not so much a detective story as it is just a straight thriller. But it's for as often as people throw that term around, almost nobody's watched the picture. And it's such a good movie. In here, I've not seen the original, but the second Postman Always actually brings twice some of the same thematics that I would suggest people reading. You know, and if you really watch anything Hitchcock. Well, I'm not going to say we ascend to the level of Hitchcock, but if you're into thrillers at all, you will not waste a minute of your time watching his stuff.
Something that always interested me about Hitchcock is he said he would make his movies as drawings, and then everything after that would be the process of recreating his drawings on film, which always interested me. That I rarely hear filmmakers talking about the art of drawing that way. So I've always appreciated that about him, at least.
Well, I mean, Hitchcock understood the artistry. I think I don't want to say he was one of the first people to do it, but I mean, he really stretched what you could do with insinuation and lighting. And I mean, he made no budget movies look like they mattered. I mean, that was one of the things about his stuff. I mean, because I don't know if you've watched any of his British catalog, but they were made with the pennies in the left jeans pocket of a minor. I mean, they were lower than low budget.
Yeah.
But like Sabotage, geez, it's just, even though, I mean, like I said, I think they made that on a weekend with like $78 or what. I'm exaggerating, of course, but it's a phenomenal picture. So, but yeah, so that's definitely an aspect. As far as also another really great of the noir novels, I would say, Leslie Charteris's The Saint falls into that category. It's kind of on the edges of it. It's more of a British take on the thing, but also Red Harvest by Dashiell Hammett, which is it's almost nihilist, but it's it's also really severe, and the way the main character kind of plays the antagonists against each other is just remarkable. But yeah, so there you go. There's a bunch of stuff I threw at you.
Homework.
Actually, come to think about that, I mentioned Batman, of course, earlier, which was a huge inspiration to both Chris and I. One of the seminal characters in Batman in the last 40 years almost. Yeah, definitely 40 years. Denny O'Neil wrote and then edited. And at the end of Denny's of the books he had a little from the den, had suggested reading for each of the stories he edited, and he had that home. He would always assign homework for the question and homework for Detective Comics. I seldom followed up on it, but it was always there. So
That's just a ploy to get you to buy more.
it was one of those things. There was even if it was a stretch, where it's it's probably not going to be a close fit.
It's a good.
I think it was issue 5 of the question. One of the suggested reading was Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Repair, right? Which is part self-help book, part memoir. And I've never read it. I've just read the back of it at the tattered cover in Denver. When I was in high school, I was like, yeah, I don't think that one's for me. But the fact that he put thought into it was something that I was like, okay, I'm willing to concede that this is a thing. It may not be my thing, but it's a thing.
Could have just been messing with you. I know I would do something like that.
So, Marmaduke,
Yeah.
or Durkin, either one of you guys, what is the weirdest book you've ever read?
Oh boy. Let me think. Fiction or nonfiction?
Either, pick it.
All right. Well, the first thing that comes to my mind is nonfiction. I don't know. Maybe the one about the feminist who painted herself nude and rolled around on canvas. That
That was the entire book.
No, that was just a section of it. That's the thing, is all these books are like a collection of 20 artists, so all of them will have something weird about that, and that's just one that jumps out at me. For fiction, I
I don't know. I feel like there may be some manga that I've read and then like I've suppressed the memory of it. Where Japan's gained this reputation for being weird. I think maybe because their folklore has a lot of like bizarre, creatures and I kind of like. Yeah, there's like this whole tradition of it where you would gather around and tell like 100 ghost stories and gradually blow out one candle for every person who told a ghost story until you were in complete darkness. So they have some, yeah, Mushishi. That's the one I'm thinking of. Mushishi is all of this like really primal, weird psychological stuff where there are things that are like ghosts, but they're not dead humans. They're almost like primal living organisms, and they mess with people sometimes in a good way that heals them, and sometimes it'll just be like the girl has no eyes, but she sees like a haunting light, and that haunting light is actually the thing that's giving her blindness. It's just like very primally terrifying stuff. Mushishi, and I love it.
Yeah, I'd have to think that something I don't remember. Like I get vague impressions in my mind of something in like manga or anime that I saw, but I don't remember the name of. So I was probably where the weirdest thing is. But if I had to say based on like books or something like that, I'd probably say something like that was written by Heinlein, considering he had a whole bunch of weird stuff.
I think for my sake, it's pretty straightforward. The Master and Margarita by Mikhail Bublikov, which is on the one hand a narrative about the devil visiting Moscow in the 40s or 50s and wreaking havoc on the literary establishment. And it's profoundly anti-Soviet.
Nice.
And it's also, it seems like it's poking fun at religion, but I actually think it's poking fun at people's attitudes toward religion.
Yeah.
And not religion itself is something. But it also is part fake memoir of Pontius Pilate and like overtly false memoir of Pontius Pilate. And just, it's also like, in the dialogue that people have, it gets to be almost a philosophy of creativity, a discussion of the philosophy of creativity within the context of a socialist fascist regime. It's it's an amazing book, but it is weird as heck. I never would have heard of it, except I used to follow Cake. I mean, I still like the band, okay, but they used to have like a blog on their website, and one of my buddies, when I was working in a call center, found out that I liked Cake, and so he's just like, "Have you checked out their blog?" And I said, "They have a blog," and they would have a suggested reading list, and one day their suggested reading was The Master and Margarita, and something about it caught my interest, so I read the thing, and it's a weird book, but it's a lot of fun.
Oh, you know what? I just remembered something. The weirdest thing I've ever come across would probably be the Vibrani on YouTube. And I'm not sure if it's in any sort of book or anything like that, but basically it was a channel that was dedicated to these long freaking sessions of it was this guy, I don't want to say pretending, but channeling from the what's it called, the something library, the metaphysical library where everything is all knowledge is supposed to be kept. Someone should know what that is, but I don't remember what it is. But there's like the spirits from that realm, you could channel them, and they were like giving speeches and talking, and this went on for hours and hours and hours, and they described like the beginning of the universe and everything like that. And eventually it came down to they were describing how the universe got created, how we got into this present state. And the thing was that it was sort of a combination of the Anunnaki Sumerian stuff, where there were like, before the beginning of the universe, there was like a spiritual type thing of the universe, and for some reason they messed up their planet, and they needed gold to fix the climate, so they came to Earth to create humans, which is weird because there's a spiritual realm and whatever. they created workers by transporting some of their own into flesh bodies, and somehow, well, there was two castes: the caste that were like imprisoning the group, and the group that were like the humans, and they slowly but surely the oppressing class kept on entering the human simulation, which is the universe. And supposedly there was only one left that stayed out of the system, and that's supposed to be God. And the only reason that the universe did not end in 2012 is because this being that is supposed to be God, which is supposed to be oppressing everyone, forgot the password to the system.
Okay, now I need some context here. Is this guy doing fiction, or does this guy believe these things?
I think it's awesome. I hope he believes it.
I listened to more than 60 hours of this stuff, and I was just like, what the heck is going on?
That's so good.
I think he won the weird contest there.
But the thing disappeared. It used to be called like Vibrani, but I can't find it anymore.
Well, now that's actually really interesting because there was, I never finished reading it, but there was an internet novella that I happened across years and years ago. And the premise of it was that it's the story of a girl in Vancouver. No, I'm sorry, not Vancouver. Montreal. And she discovers, like, she meets this boy and they fall in love, and then all of this weird stuff starts happening, and she realizes that she doesn't like really know her fellow, and he starts like developing some sort of like trans like dimensional awareness, and then the more and more like he loses touch with her and with reality, she comes to realize that she's gotten pregnant. And that's when I quit reading it, and I was like, I need to come back later, and I've never have.
What should I call it? Musky Elon says, "Hi guys, will your new projects be listed on Inground? That's my daily shopping spot." So
I do not know.
Get up,
So-
Edwin.
Well, Elon, for you, we might.
Well, I mean, you have to go and register it and talk to whatchamacallit, Pixel Trader and all like that.
Yeah.
We have an Instagram. We just got going. So for Ideal Comics.
So I also have Dave Sarwitz. Is it, or is that son of Vitz? I'm not sure
This
how
is
you
true. Can you hear me?
pronounce that. Yeah, I don't know. He's in the chat and hello. Know him from around the interwebs. So appreciate you stopping in, Dave.
Hey, Mr. Rico, what's going on?
What's up, man? What's up?
Hey, Rico, how's it going?
It's going well, man. I just got home.
Cool.
Rico,
Yeah.
Hey, Rico,
What's up?
you're late.
Yeah, well, yeah, I had Rico things to attend to,
I know.
unfortunately, But how is everyone tonight?
We're good. We already cleared our backing.
Oh,
Not
wow.
true.
I'm lying completely, but
He's lying to you.
That's amazing, man. You just did it by telepathy, just everybody just anticipated our needs.
I willed them to like our stuff and share it and back it.
I see you're working on the cover art there.
I am, yes, sir. Yes, sir. What do you think?
Well, I think that's a nice fingernail,
Thank you. That turnout is quite grand, I believe.
Might use a little limited.
Is someone playing bluegrass banjo in the background?
I think there's a guilty party from Tennessee that might be doing that.
It's
I
me,
I hear some banjo. I mean,
It's me. That's my thing.
it makes me really want to check what's behind me. I mean,
You
No
sure
offense.
do. You sure got a pretty mouth.
I was waiting for somebody to say it.
yeah, you knew it was coming. You know what? I play the guitar.
Hey,
We might have to do dueling banjos one of these days.
There you go.
You know, when you came in, Rico, I was looking at your smaller picture. I was like, who the heck is that? Because I don't know who you are.
Right.
It was
neither do I really.
from PWR. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, I'm somewhat of a recluse, you know, kind of difficult to spot at times, but you know, except on Tuesday nights, you know, in our ideal comic jam, you know, where you know I tend to be well represented there.
Nice plug, Rico. Nice plug, buddy.
Right on, ideal comic jam.
You can actually check it right on this channel every Tuesday at various times.
We talk about some really interesting things off camera, and then the
Everyone wants to
moment
know, do you
where
talk
this
about
interesting talk could benefit us,
Yeah,
we lay an egg. We're the most boring people on earth.
it's true. We're actually quite entertaining and just hilarious. We're deep, and this doesn't happen on camera. That's all it is.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, the most important question is, do you talk about shoes?
Want to talk about what?
Shoes.
Shoes.
Shoes? Well, not as much as my girlfriend does, but you know, I am a reasonable fan of footwear. You know? I own one pair of shoes because I mean, why fight it? I'm only going to wear one pair of shoes unless unless we're at an outing somewhere. Then I suppose I have two.
So you just lied to us. You said you had one pair of shoes, and now you're saying you have two.
Well, yeah, I forgot about my dress shoes, which haven't
Yeah,
actually,
incomplete information.
which haven't actually been out of the closet for like a good 8 months. So you can imagine how many formal outings I go to. You know, not a whole lot.
That's what I have so far for X and.
Ooh, let me see. Let me look. Oh, that's cool, man.
And all your bricks, I said F bricks.
You say, one of the Reese.
That's Fitzgerald.
Barry and I were talking about we have to have like an Easter egg on one of these comics that has like Rico's Brick Company, or something, just because of all the pain that I've caused Barry over, this last year, with my famous bricks. That's
and
right.
If anyone follows our webcomic or Joe Jobs or anything, there are going to be some Easter eggs in this cover itself. So
there already is. Yeah,
there already is. I haven't inked them yet.
Yeah, I really hope it makes the cut too. Have you guys revealed what that Easter egg is?
No,
not yet.
Not yet.
I like secrets.
All right. Yeah, we'll be rather discreet about it. And this banjo music just falls right in.
It's making me go, man. It's making me go.
My left leg is tapping up and down.
I'm trying just to, lay some subtle background music, not get too loud.
There we go.
I like it. Make sure it's
I do.
NC, man. No copyright. I don't want to get busted for. It's almost worth it, but not quite.
This video has been monetized by Billy Bob.
There we go. Well, I just realized that other than Reese and Barry, I don't know anybody else here.
Well, feel free to introduce folks here. We've got a Marmaduke fan.
Yeah, let's see here. I'm a dead end joke from Diversity in Comics channel. I've since turned it into my own comic book review channel, and then I played Deltarune, and I got an audience of 9-year-olds following me. So
That's like the best thing ever.
Video games, comic books, and I do public domain fairy tale audiobooks.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
And if you're into deep cuts and you have the time, go back and watch Marm's videos on postmodernism and the ruination of art. It's very, very good stuff, but it's all way back when now.
I think I've got playlists for it. So if you just look for the playlist like general feminism and social justice or like postmodern garbage, you'll find it.
I swear to God, you said if you're into deep cocks.
What?
What?
That was actually what my ears caught, but I was too polite to say anything about it.
A little bit of Freudian slips,
I'm not a furry, I swear.
Oh boy.
We accept all people here of all creeds and races and.
Apparently so, because I know what one of these individuals has on his mind. But I'm not one to judge, though.
Reese, I'm just gonna say, put your hair up. It's too much for them to handle right now.
Yes, baby, put your hair up. Oh, sorry. Sorry, you're gonna find I have a wicked sense of humor, especially when it comes to my good friend Reese.
Here, I'll just do this here. I'll just.
No, please.
Oh,
God, no.
my goodness, he's pouting.
Yeah. He's gonna take our Reese away.
away.
What he's gonna do? Oh, you son of a!
So next up, in addition to Marty, we've got Mr. Doug Garrett, and he is plucking along the old banjo.
What's up, Doug?
What's going on? Oh, Doug.
I'm just some random guy that shows up on channels and plays banjos.
Let's clear up the mystery for me. Which one of you three is actually playing the banjo?
It's me, for real.
For real? Wow.
Yep.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'm actually a big fan of bluegrass music.
I'm actually a big fan of punk rock, but I played banjo on Dope to Naples channel one time, so everybody expects me to play banjo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
This is not required on every channel. I agree with that.
You can't play a gritty song on the banjo. It's like some Steve Martin.
It takes effects pedals.
Yeah. It's like that Steve Martin stand-up a long time ago. Hey, Steve, your house is burning down. Yeah, you can't play a sad song, or a gritty song.
I don't think that's how it works. I once sang on Doug's channel. I don't think everyone expects me to sing.
This is anything goes right now. I mean,
yeah.
Not like fans.
Just
fans demand singing and banjoing.
That's amazing.
Get down. Oh, this is my favorite part.
And so Doug is also the creator of Lone Wolf.
Yes.
Sweet.
And he's an all-around good guy. So I was glad to have him be willing to come and hang out with us as we try to pump up the Expositioner dealio there.
Speaking of
volume.
Maybe after you do introductions, I think I saw a couple people in the chat.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, while I do that, I'll take it up.
Somebody just requested talking about breakdown.
So Scott Bruckner, who is he's I don't know what you call it, he's a kid or a guy or whatever that I met through Matt McGibson on my Thursday night matriarchy show. Who's a very creative guy and has a lot of things to say about heroes and stuff. He said, the voice of the people line sounds interesting. Yes. And part of the reason for the title of the story is that Expositioner sees part of his mission, if you will, is to help people find the truth, help people to find their own stories. And so in doing that, to help them find their own ending and their way out of victimhood, right? And so that's part of his whole deal. GOP Gamer, hello. Thanks for coming. I'm just explaining the thing and all this thing. Anyway, GOP. So that's part of it is that X is in some ways the voice of the people himself. But additionally, we get to see X from the perspective of several different people in the story. We get to see it from his former partner, Shock. We get to see him from the perspective of Francis, who is just a workaday Joe who doesn't like superheroes and especially illegal ones. We get to see him from the eyes of Mark Lanning, a skater kid who's out to try to find his missing buddy. And we get to see him through the eyes of Officer Lawrence. Oh, it's not Callahan. What's his last name?
Krumke.
I cannot remember right now. I have forgotten it. It's spaced out my head.
It's Callahan.
Anyway, he's a cop who doesn't care much for X either. And we get to see him through the eyes in the second issue of the miniseries through Judge Allison Jones, who is a former police officer and current judge their older age. And so that's kind of some fun little stuff on that. So because we get all these different people's voices, and because we get the whole and we get X in who he is, that's why we chose the title. So.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Vox Populi. Yep. Anyway, back to the introductions, so that Rico knows people.
Yeah.
Durakin is here. He's another writer and an amazing colorist. If you check his stuff out on Twitter, he'll sometimes give colors to other people's pencils and inks that are just phenomenal. I cannot sing those praises loud enough.
Nice.
Lies, I'm terrible.
I'm a relative newcomer to this whole thing, fellas, just so you guys know.
Do want to say thank you to GOP Gamer though, because he's the one that bought the original art for that picture, and that couldn't do the Veil War or Tyranny now.
I'll just tell you guys, GOP Gamer is a huge supporter of a lot of these indie books, and he doesn't do it for any kind of recognition. He's just a really good guy.
Okay, well, fuck that then. I'm taking back my thank you.
No, I'm just saying. You know, you definitely should thank him, but he's a behind the scenes.
He's a big fan. He's a good guy, a big fan. Huh?
He's a really good guy. And I think he needs more recognition on how good of a guy he is.
I've been on a needle mover string with him a couple times. He's always got something interesting to say, so I appreciate that.
Well, thank you for joining, GOP. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, and I actually have two projects going, sort of, kind of. The Veil War, now called Tyrna, is going to be probably launching in about a month, and I have a secret project with someone else from the community that I'm not going to talk about.
Right.
Veil War is being renamed Tyrna?
What?
Did you say the Veil War is being renamed?
Yeah, it's being renamed to Tyrna.
Gotcha.
Tyrna.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there were just way too many problems that I didn't feel like dealing with anymore with the name, so.
Fair enough.
And it only refers to like one part of a story if I actually make it a sequel, so. So it was just a better option to rename it.
Oh, man.
Now to turn this back to you guys. You guys are creating Vox Populi. Who is the writer, artist, inker, etc.?
Okay. I'm doing writing and lettering myself, and Rico's doing the pencil art on it, and then Barry's got inks and colors.
And I want to point out also, like, I'm relatively new to digital coloring and digital inking. So if anyone knows any tips or tricks, feel free to give me a heads up, because I'm not offended. I'm just trying to grow and get better. So yeah, if you have an idea, let me know.
Well, usually what you want to do is you want to make sure you put the colors in between the lines.
Anyone but Doug.
I suck at inking, but looking at your picture right there, you see that ledge that you have over the door?
No, I am ignoring that one because it sucks.
Well, you have that line that's coming down from the extension from the wall, and it's crossing over the ledge line.
This
like
one?
it's the same one. Like I don't see your that ledge. Yes.
Yeah.
Go up to the where it's like the wall that's coming out.
Oh, this.
That line should not be on the same like.
Yeah. No, I know. I have to take care of that because there was a. Yeah. I got you, man. I got you.
And a lot of it's bound to be my fault because, it's, like I said, I'm a relative newcomer too, to all this, but I just try to throw stuff together and make it look good. I mean, for lack of a better description.
I generally try to ruin it, but.
Well, see, that's one thing I like. We're all a bunch of indie guys. We're learning as we go. That's what I want to see. I want to see people. I'll take a chance on somebody's book because if they're putting their heart and their soul into it, they're only going to improve. You know.
Well, I think gradually, like every aspect of this book, you know, in the planning process, from the planning process to actually getting the art out. You know, I think we've improved each page. I mean, would you say that's the case, Reese?
Oh, I think so. It's one of those projects too that like you can see that progress page by page too, and I really appreciate that from an observational perspective. But it does make me look back at the first pages and be like, oh man.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going back.
I'm not the artist, so I don't want to be just like, you need to go back and fix that. But
there's some stuff I need to retouch because like some of my color was advancing, and I started watching K. Michael Russell's, you know, tutorials and whatever else I could find in between, you know, starting the project, and it helped me a lot. So yeah, at least the first pages I colored and inked, I need to go back and just adjust a lot of the lighting, just the coloring, maybe 50% of it, but yeah, it's going to be redone, a lot of it. So
yeah, we've oh, go ahead.
You want to hear something funny about K. Michael Russell's tutorials?
What's that?
I went through it. I was coloring my way that I had learned like way back, like 10 years ago, and I like started listening to tutorials, and I started going through them, and I shifted my style ever so slightly on what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of the thing, I went right back to my original style, and the only thing that had actually changed was that instead of using black and white as the highlight and shading colors, I was using color theory to
right.
The colors.
The
I was like,
yeah.
well, that was completely useless. Several weeks of time to go and learn that.
Do you have a link to some of your stuff I can look at?
It's all on Twitter on the media thing, or I posted everything that I've done since October on most everything on digital webbing.
Okay.
So.
I was looking at digital webbing about back in September, I think, of last year.
Yeah.
I hate my job.
Hello?
Not this job, my actual paying day job. Yeah. Anyway,
we have done several redraws, you know, which you know, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you know, sometimes it's, you know, sometimes a little frustrating, but you know, each time, I don't think we've ever had a redraw to where I said, you know, they're absolutely right. You know, we need to fix this or that. You know. And,
oh yeah, no, and your pencils are great. Honestly, your cartoon pencils lend themselves.
And I'm a hopeless cartoonist, you know, so it's like, you know, I do my best to do, you know, I look at some of like my first drawings, you know, for this particular issue, and I cringe, you know, because it's like, I think you and Reese have guided me to, you know, a much more proficient state of being as an artist, you know, and so appreciate it. These guys are great to work with.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Rico. It's good having you, man. You're a good level, chill dude. So it
Chill, right on.
Oh my goodness, I take that back. Rico was a trial to work with, and we somehow, with Reese's vision and my diligence, make it through.
That's right. And you suck and you're fat. You know, yeah, those two things, right?
Snowman. GOP says he draws the best snowman.
Draw best snowman? Yeah.
You know, you might have the market cornered on that, bud, because most people, XYZ has X-Men or X-Men, Stickmen.
Yeah.
But
he draws dirty snowman pictures. Don't listen to him.
Okay.
They're bad. Not family friendly pictures.
You know those dirty snowman pictures with 2 carrots? You know, is that what you're?
Ooh, hot.
You know, wow.
So much for keeping it in the children's and health.
Hey,
we tried.
Never mind.
Yeah.
I know Reese isn't a fan of Calvin and Hobbes, but some of the grotesque things that Calvin does with his snowmen, you know, I just have to give the man or the boy a thumbs up.
Okay, wait a second. Reese, you do not like Calvin and Hobbes?
no, I do. I don't know where he gets that.
All right.
Oh, I thought you told me a long time ago when we first met that you didn't like Calvin and Hobbes.
No.
Reese, do you like Snoopy?
Oh.
Yes.
I think he just tried to get you killed.
Yes, it was my attempt at matricide. That's right.
Very
Don't
good. I
say you don't
approve
like
so far.
Calvin and Hobbes. Calvin and Hobbes is like one of the greatest.
It is. It absolutely is.
And that's you know, 'cause I could have swore, Reese, I could have swore that we had like one of our first conversations, and you know, you asked me a little bit about the warehouse, and I said, well, you know, kind of like the style is a little bit, you know, inspired by Calvin and Hobbes, and I could have swore you told me that you didn't like it, you know.
He was talking about the warehouse. He was like, "Your stuff was crap, but you won't work for us."
Well, yeah. I could have sworn you didn't like it, but
All the dark secrets now come out about Ideal Comics and the conflict behind scenes.
it doesn't matter. It's cleared up now, you know.
Oh, yeah. No.
Reese is with the beautiful people now. The people that love Calvin and Hobbes. Yeah.
So we have a few more. We have Rebel Comics.
Oh, hey, Larry. How's it
And
going?
Team Lion Comics.
Hey, that's Amy. Amy is the one-man show that creates the Zodiac.
Yeah, it's Zodiac. You guys trade comics and stuff. Yeah, okay. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us, guys. All right, and someone's getting murdered by cops and
Somebody's getting
dogs.
barked at. Arr. Somebody is getting barked at.
Was it Marmaduke?
Maybe.
That was my
Marmaduke usually does the barking, but this time he's getting barked at.
I only bark at weird furry artists. I'm off my line.
That's not true. You all, just last week you were barking at Brett Booth, wasn't it?
That's right.
Wow, I gotta hear this story.
So he was throwing shit at alternate comics and like, you can't pay people a living wage if you sell your comics for $2. I don't know. I just get triggered whenever I see somebody. Well, what's weird about it is, like, half the times I feel like when I talk to a comic pro, I'm like saying something like, the law of supply and demand says that if you lower your price, then you can sell more product and outcompete your competitor. And then they'll say something like, you know, what don't you understand about the living wage? And I don't know. It just feels like sometimes I say something and it bounces off them, and that's when I start getting like triggered. And then I made I made like 2 or 3 drama videos in my entire history on YouTube, and it's usually like this really serious letter. And for Brett Booth, I just like drew a picture of him in a Hello Kitty lemonade stand getting outsold by Peter Cimetti selling water for 5 cents.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
Yeah, there is a lot of that stuff that there's just a disconnect between like what people think is possible and what people are like wanting. For example, I look at mine and I'm like, well, I don't want to charge $20 per comic, but I'm pretty sure that I'm only going to get this amount of backers, and if I want to actually get it done, then I have to charge this amount of money. Now, you could make the argument that I can lower the price and therefore get more backers, but that assumes that I can reach that many.
Right. You have to take the realistic factor of what does it actually cost to produce. But,
right. What do you think? Do you think it's just a blind disconnect? They just want to have that. That's their stance, and they just want to just be opposed to anyone who's indie and doing, say, on the opposite side of the fence, kind of, you know, as the, you know, CGers are more or less, or anyone who even remotely comes close to associating with them.
I think there's partially an aspect of Peter Cimetti is perceived to not be woke, not because he said anything, but because he said that you can't use a block bot if you're with Alterna.
Right.
So got that against him.
Right. Yep.
Which means it's okay to throw shade and say that you shouldn't support his books because the living wage. And then I think there's partially I don't know, like projecting your anxiety onto everyone else. Like, I think Brett Booth is worried about making a living wage now that he's kind of gotten demoted from DC to Valiant. Therefore, everyone who he doesn't like must have the same problems he does and must not pay their creators well, right?
Yeah, yeah. I definitely picked that up for sure.
Well, you know, I kind of see it from a different angle. This guy's been in the business and he doesn't understand how Alterna does their business. It's the same way with a lot of the comic pros that are in CG. They only see, if you look at every campaign, they all run their campaigns exactly the same way. And it works for all of them because they all have a built-in following. The business worked that way for them. Same with Brett Booth. That's the way the business worked for him. It's scary to try something different. If you look at Ethan's first campaign, he only offered like 2 or 3 perks, charged $25. If you look at all the other pros, they did the same thing. They're telling everybody do the same thing. That same thing's not going to work for everybody.
Right.
You've got to be willing to open your mind and look at these different options. I believe Brett Booth, like you're saying, I do believe he's insecure because he doesn't want to lose a living wage, but he's so afraid to open his mind to the way other things work. He's so set in that in doing it a certain way.
Yeah, what he said was absolutely stupid, but I understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like I don't know how much he still holds to it, but John Malin said all artists should be paid. You should pay them all like $150. I'm like, these are independent comic creators. What are you talking about? It's like, I'm sorry, but I don't think $150 is appropriate for a comic artist who hasn't been recognized.
Even if they have been recognized,
but
even if they have been recognized, I've seen some work by pros that is not worth $150 a page. It's laughable. And I know if some people, if I'd have paid them $150 for that page, they would have redone the page before the book went out. This is independent comics now. Even if you were a pro, you're not a pro now.
Yeah.
So, you're going to have to earn that money. You're going to have to make yourself worth it.
Interesting.
He's looking at what he was making at the base level of Marvel, but he then also recognizes later on that it took him like 10 years to get there. Like, well, let's say I was working for 10 years. Don't you think I should have all those raises in my price tag to get that $150? So.
All I heard was you guys that we need to make a lot of money, and I agree.
Everybody does deserve to make a lot of money, but when you're starting out on this bottom tier, when you're
exactly,
you've got to make your own way, and you got to get there.
Yeah.
I've had guys come at me, I'm a nobody, I'm a rando. I got my first book funded. That doesn't mean I have tons of money. But I have people that want to work with me, and they're like, yeah, well, I really like your book, and I want to work with you, but I'll only charge you $100 a page. And it's like, well, thanks. I'll talk to you later.
Hey, I don't want to know how you can tell that people aren't treating this like a business. If you ask any business person, any entrepreneur, how long does it take you before you actually enter profit? It's 5 years of work, 5 to 10 years. Like, and all of these people think that they're going to make profit day one.
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah,
See, I never started my first campaign was never to make profit. It was to get the book out,
Yeah, there's that side of things, definitely. Yeah, for sure. Because me and Reese, we're getting close to 5 years of not making profits. So I'm.
Oh, it's longer than that.
I know. I'm curving things. Just let me have it, damn it. But yeah, no, I'm so definitely you get. Oh, sorry, Reese, I'm going to cut you off. But
No, that's fine. That's fine. I mean, go ahead.
I was just thinking. So a lot of it that you guys are saying is to make the money and actually qualify and deserve the money almost is actually having a name and building that and building trust through the fans and through the community that they can trust you have a good product and they can trust that you're going to deliver something good.
If you can get the money, you deserve the money. That's the basic. But at the same time, you're not going to be stupid about what you're asking either.
Right.
So.
Yeah, because there's been quite a few people that thought they were going to show up and pull off some kind of cash grab and slap a label on their book and, throw up a campaign. You'll see a campaign with like 1 or 2 pictures, and it's just not going to work that way. You got to be serious about it, and people can tell if you're serious or not. They can tell if you put in the time, and if you got some decent artists or some decent writing, they can tell.
That's what burned Rob Liefeld. He, I don't know, like he didn't have enough. He didn't build up an audience for long enough or something. I mean, he's a famous artist, a significant artist, and that project's just been floating in Never Land for a while. So there were some people who like dipped their toes into crowdfunding who were big names and got burned, and maybe that's like just a contributing fear factor where they just think, oh well, yeah, Ethan made all this money, but that's not necessarily reproducible.
But what did they do and what didn't they do?
Right, and I think Ethan benefited from kind of the culture war aspect of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a like 100,000 person. Well, no, what did he have? Like 50,000 when he launched Cyberfrog, or 20,000?
Oh, it's smaller, yeah. I feel like he was in the 20,000s because that would be like over when he launched it. That'd be like a year ago, right? Because it was a few months. It's 4 months late, and then it was. Oh, okay, yeah. He launched it over a year ago, so that was early days of his channel. Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, if you already have those numbers, then you're looking at like 1% of like you should look at 1 to 10% of like follow through with anything you have. So, like if I'm looking at my followers from Twitter, it's like 300 followers right now. So I should be able to expect like 15 to 30 followers to actually back my project.
Yeah, and that's even just like my experience on YouTube, right? Like if I got 1 million views on something, I'd have 1,000 people subscribe and like maybe 50 people who then become channel regulars. So subscribers don't mean anything.
Mm-hmm.
They make a little.
That's if you're good too.
It's like 10% of your subscribers usually the average.
Yeah,
if not less.
And that's if you're doing good, not if you're doing crap.
That's daily, and that's a lot of subscribers. That's like a lot of channels I watch. I kind of consume a lot of YouTube just for knowledge and just to learn shit, and because I'm very slow, I need as much as I can get. But on the average, from all these big time people, I like to watch like Draw with Jazza and stuff, and it's about 10%. He has almost 5 million subscribers, and they're very active. He's a very active community. So, yeah. Crazy stuff.
And then you go back and look at those other people's projects. Well, they don't have any social media presence or anything that's selling them. So how would they even know to go buy it?
Who's Indie Dave Comics?
Dave Comics is a smaller channel. He's done a few projects. He's a cool guy.
Yeah, he's in the. Just saw him in the chat. I'm gonna say hi. Hey, Indie Dave.
Yeah, with
He says I am. Are you? I am a cool guy, or I am in the chat. That's the question.
There's a few. I'm just gonna say yes to all of it. I'm done with that.
Scott, the lowest that I've ever been quoted for like everything is about $110 per page. So if you're looking at any of these things that are coming out, any of the projects that are coming out, a lot of them are like 48 pages. So you're looking at like $4,800 minimum for that.
You hear that, Reese?
Now, if you're an artist or something like that, you don't have to pay as much, but you should still consider that. Because as a good business person, you consider that you're paying yourself too.
Well, damn it, Rico's price or cut just went up.
There you go. Right on. And I have, I'm like I said, I'm relatively like new to all of this. Is like my focus up to the point where we're like doing this campaign. I've been really focusing on like Patreon, and stuff like that, and getting like
you have a decent Patreon
subscribers there. It's not too bad. I mean, I'm right now I'm pretty satisfied that the warehouse project is just paying for itself.
Yeah.
And so I can get those folks taken care of, because they're kind enough to support what I'm doing, and taking a great load off my shoulders. And so I'm at the point where now, okay, well, how do I make a living off of this? And I was naive enough to think that I could do that right away when I began, like you guys had mentioned. I'm learning, and I'm pretty.
You never know. Sometimes fire. I've heard. People just fire. Lightning strikes sometimes, but arts, business, all around. It's a fickle.
Yeah.
Rebel,
You never know, we could just have the next rags on our hands.
Yeah.
Rebel, is that $60 for everything, colors and colors, letters, everything, or is it just the inks and line art? Because when I say 110, that's everything that's for a page, like
Is that color? And,
inks,
okay.
everything. That's the lowest I've ever seen anyone like quoted.
Okay.
Yeah, when on Lone Wolf, after I paid the artist and the colorist, we was close to $100 a page.
Okay. Never mind, Rico. I take it back.
Yeah, it was a lovely thought, Barry.
I know.
Now, if you go up with someone like Mitch Brettweiser or any of those other guys, which are like pros like for a long time, they're not getting $150 per page. They'd be getting like $200, $300 per page for the art and the colors, and then so that if you look at the book costs, that's a hefty savings to have that on your side.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie about that, man.
What will you lie about, Barry?
You already know, Rico. So let's not talk about that.
Well, that is true. I'll drop the subject.
Thank you.
Of course, the most hilarious part of the entire thing is the most time intensive of all of it is flats. Well, second most time intensive generally.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I deserve more money. I agree.
Flats are a pain in the butt.
Of everyone, they get paid the least except for maybe letterers. And it's because generally flats is considered a non-skilled task.
But that's actually where color theory comes in, because you're making the basic decisions about color layout and the shading. If you can be an excellent shader, but if you don't have good color theory, the final composition is not going to look good. It's just going to be a polished shirt.
Well, no, flats doesn't include that type of stuff. Generally speaking, flats, when people are talking about flats, what you're doing is just separating objects. So something that's a different object is a different color. So when the colorist comes in, they can color correct and shade and do all the other stuff.
Yeah, the guy who flats for me, he can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. He, and I have to save the day with my amazing color theory.
Yeah, more than once I've been tempted to get somebody to flat stuff for me. Because it's like it is a pain in the neck. I even tried to enslave my own children to do it, but they don't want to. I mean, they're not terribly interested. It's like, I don't want to flat that. Like, fine. Jeez.
Yeah, and I've done streams where I'm just flatting it. It's like 3-4 hours, and then like the last 30 minutes.
That's what's crazy. It's like, nah, Rico, Reese. I'm talking to the guys. I'll turn this out. All I have to do is flatting tonight, and I got some shading and coloring. Throw it all on there. 10 hours later, I'm still flatting.
Yeah. See, that's why I've suggested we had some sort of designated flatter, like some naive soul that could come in and do some of the grunt work for us.
Some guy we could hustle for.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, you want to make comics?
All right.
This is the most exciting part of the job. I swear.
Everyone, just mute yourself for right now. That might flat for us in the future.
Well, they can. You do know that there are sites where you can hire flatters, and usually flatters and colorists work together.
Like webbing and stuff. Yeah.
I've been tempted to outsource some things off to some Fiverr guy that claims he would flat stuff for like $5 a page, and I'm thinking, but will he do it right?
Yeah.
So, you guys had experiences with stuff like that?
If you can do it for $5 a page, I'm willing to give you a chance.
Let's let this roll and see what happens.
Until he gets me addicted and jacks up the price, probably, and
I need more of that cheap flatting, please. Don't leave me.
Yeah, I think it's actually a dude from Indonesia, so maybe I'm helping a third world country out by by hiring a flatter, but I don't know.
Do my soul, my man.
Hey, Tank Parrot.
So, Rico.
Yes, sir.
Why don't you go ahead and talk about how you came to our happy little band of miscreants?
Oh, okay.
Dark stormy night.
It was a dark stormy night. Well, I mean, I've never, you have to forgive me because I've never been like a comic book guy, but I've always been something of like a cartoonist. And, I've loved like, Calvin and Hobbes and Peanuts and stuff like that. And one day decided to make a comic about cute and cuddly animals in prison. And then a friend of mine at the shop that I work, I printed my first issue. I was really excited about it. I started showing people. And they pointed me towards, the two comic guys, in our town, are Barry and Reese. You really need to talk to them. And so, I was really excited about that, and because I had no idea that in Rat's Ass, Nebraska, we would actually have a community of comic book artists, and so I say, yeah, it's definitely, man, hook me up with their email. I'd like to get in touch with them. And so I met with Reese first. And we just got to talking, kind of hit it off, had dinner one night and one thing led to another. No, just kidding. No, we just thought that, I just thought that, hey, this is a really cool dude. And I'd like to see what they're up to because I like a lot of their stuff, a lot of their story, a lot of their art, and Barry was kind of standoffish at first.
Yeah, we had the guns out on the table at first.
Yeah, definitely.
Shots and
I think
you're calling yourselves a community. I mean, 3 people, that's a little bit
yeah.
It was a standoff. I'm not gonna lie.
You have to overcome Scottsbluff street rules.
Definitely.
It's a combination of East Side versus Old West. And so it's a bit of quick draw
with spoons.
Involved, and
it's a very strange place to live. Yeah. So I've lived here most of my life, and
I actually moved here. Don't hate me for it.
But it's like, I was basically just doing my thing, and every once in a while meeting with Reese, and eventually, meeting with Barry, and then he invited me to some of the Ideal Comics stuff, and he was giving me some feedback, on my own work, which I thought was, really interesting because I guess he made me think about a few things I hadn't even considered, and that actually, in a lot of ways kind of gave me the push to just keep going, just to keep writing, because that was one of his bits of advice was just to keep writing no matter what. And next thing you know, I just kind of threw it out there. I said, hey, if you guys ever want to collaborate on something, I'm willing to give it a try. The next week, Reese approached me with stars in his eyes. It was like, were you serious about collaborating with something? I'm like, hell yeah. And so that's where he showed me his manuscript, of Vox Populi, that first draft, that he was putting together. I thought, this is freaking amazing. I would love to draw this if you guys would trust me with it, and true to form, they trusted me with it, and we got together, and it was kind of, rough in the end because my idea of comics and their idea of comics are completely different because they had way more experience, with the genre. And so those first few images that I drew, I was like, hey, check this out. And they're like saying, well, maybe you should do this. Maybe you should do this. It's not quite dynamic enough. It's not this. It's not that. And at first I'm like, jackass. I'm not, I'm kind of like there, but then I'm looking at it, it's like, they are absolutely right. And from that point on, it's been a great school of comic art, to be with like Barry and Reese, and it's refreshing to have something new, to do with my life. It's been really rewarding. These guys are fantastic, and I believe in what all 3 of us are doing. And we've been acquaintances for like what, maybe 2 years?
Almost.
Year and a half? Is it 2 years?
About a year and a half, something like that.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Yeah, thanks, Rico. That was awfully nice.
Well,
but tell the truth. No, I'm joking.
So what you're saying is that you're like, hey, maybe I can help you guys out with something, and the next day he pulled a Nasser on you.
Not quite.
Yeah,
I actually remember that story very, very differently.
Okay, well, lay it on me then.
So,
This is a dark story.
first, we found out that we did comics, and part of how that worked out was a couple of years ago. We started teaching every once and again a little intro to comics class at our local art center, and so we met a guy who knew Rico, and that's how through our class. and that's how they had our name. And so Rico sent me a message over the internet, and we ended up over Facebook or whatever. And I said, well, we've got our every month we host a little drawing event at the local coffee shop, and you're welcome to come on down for that. And I was like, well, that's cool, but I'd like to talk about comics now. We went out for coffee because I have a hard time turning away a cup of coffee. And we started. He pitched me his idea, the warehouse, what it was, and the whole thing, and I was just an instant fan with what Rico does with the cute fuzzy animals in prison. It's just a great. I don't know if any of you guys take the time to read it, but it's a great concept, and it's a great story, and the way it lays out, the way he's able to breathe humanity into these animals because they're animals in a way that you wouldn't be able to get if it was a story about people in prison. Really get to the stories behind the stories, and it's just really great stuff. So Rico started coming to our little get-togethers every month at the coffee shop and working on projects and talking about stories. And somebody, I don't even know who first said, "So, what do you think? What do you think? We should get together and maybe do something." And I was like, "Sure, okay, that's cool." I'm always up for working with people. I don't know what we do or whatever, at the time I had a different artist who had said they were really interested in working on the Vox Populi, and
that's right.
Back and forth. And he quit. I mean, he like quit returning my emails.
He just flaked out.
He's elsewhere. He quit returning my emails slowly as it went, and then on Wednesday, he on this Wednesday in August in 2018, I get an email from this other dude. He's like, "I'm out. I can't. I have my own thing, and I don't know. And okay, bye." I was like,
wow.
Okay, dude.
I remember that night. I remember you told me that.
Yeah,
I was so mad. I was so mad. And then Barry's like, "Well, stop being mad because I invited Rico to hang out with us while we're working on stuff, so you can't be a dick." I said, "Fine." Because I'm an angry person. So, well, okay. So then Rico sits down, and before I should back up, Barry's like, "Reese, I'm serious. You can't be pissy. Rico's been going through some stuff, and he needs some support. So you can't just be a jerk." I said, okay, I'll turn it off. And then Rico sits down, and he's just like, "When are we going to do this collaboration thing? Let's do it." And I said, "Well, I happen to have a story that needs an artist if you really want to." And he's like, okay, what is it? So I lay out the story, and he's like, yeah. Yes!
I love how he
Okay, so
acts out my enthusiasm.
My memory of the story is actually a little bit different.
Oh, geez.
Okay, I love this. Let's do it.
So
it's like an episode of Laverne and Shirley.
It was a bright sunny day that had just ended.
Okay.
Reese had just picked me up because, for reasons unknown, I was not driving at the time, and still am not. And he's like, "Man, remember that one douchebag that we actually agreed to work with us on that comic?" And I was like, yeah, it seemed like a nice guy. Reese is like, "Well, he just flaked out." And I said, "Huh, well, that's too bad, but he was kind of flaky in the first place." And Reese is like, "No, he was nice." I was like, "You're wrong." He's like, "Okay, you're right." And he's like, "Well, there's another artist in town." And I said, "Wait, another artist in town?" And so we get out of the truck, and there's Rico across the street of our favorite restaurant. And a tumbleweed blows across the street, and a whistle goes. And this dude, I think, and this guy has glint in his eye. But no, actually, it was exactly how Reese described it. I'm sorry.
Except for the tumbleweed. It is exactly
the tumbleweed, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we do live in the Old West, so we do have our fair share of tumbleweeds.
There actually are tumbleweeds in this town.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, unfortunately, there are tumbleweeds. Some
Anyway.
tumbleweeds are named Reese.
Hey,
Holy,
Yeah,
holy smokes, guys. We have 15 people watching.
Oh yeah, I should check the chat out. I haven't done that in a spell.
I logged in with 3 of my accounts. Sorry.
Oh, hey,
Well,
Jeremy Lott, who
well, there's that.
Jeremy Lott said he might be able to come on today earlier, but he was traveling and just said that he is too exhausted, and I respect that. Travel really takes it out of you. So thanks for stopping into the chat, and we will catch up later, man.
Yeah, they're just stopping in and saying hi, bud. Appreciate it.
And also, I have to give a little props out to Jeremy. He, of course, is the writer behind Movie Men, which just wrapped up, and it got to complete funding, and so it's an in demand. If you guys want a fun action story with ridiculously amazing classic comic book art, go give that an eyeball. It looks to be a tremendous amount of fun. And Dan Sakharov is also in the chat and said he just backed. So awesome. Why, thank you very much, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Very appreciated.
Dan, of course, is one of the great minds behind the Mythoverse. And for me, I will tell you, September cannot get here soon enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you asked me yesterday to come on, I said that I have writing to do. You know how much writing I've done today?
All of it.
One sentence.
We are inspired.
Wow.
Never mind.
It was a dark and stormy night.
Don't steal my lead intro, okay? It's original. It is special and unique to me.
Whoa, okay, sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder there, Barry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all I got, man.
That just means I have to write it all in, what, 36 hours? Plus
I like
3?
it. Sounds like college all over again.
39 hours, 2,000 words? That's not a problem.
I gotta refresh my little window here, and I'll see what the total.
Fellas, we're 9% into it.
I almost feel like we should sharing
I'm
our
sorry to yell. We have $195 raised already.
There's the night
Holy
was
cow.
sultry. I like it.
Thank you guys so much for guys.
Thank you, man. Holy.
This is above what we raised our first campaign.
Yeah, yeah. And I think
So
well, you
thank
know,
you guys so much.
that was like a huge learning experience, man, because we kind of
God.
Okay, wait a second. You're saying that you just raised the amount of money. Where are they? I'm obviously stupider than all these people that are finding your campaign. Where is your campaign?
You know, there has to be always
I
one.
have no idea. I just it was,
Because I looked
I
at
know.
Vox Populi.
Did you share it in the
That was
bottom of
gone.
the stream,
yeah,
Reese?
I shared the link on Twitter and on Facebook both right now.
Can you put it?
Hang on, I may not have actually put it in the description here.
Yeah, put it in the description.
Oh, yeah, for all the people who just like check in and don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I may have messed that up. Hang on, guys.
I tried to Google it.
Talk
nothing
amongst
was there.
yourselves
tried
while
to
I do things over here.
Yes, Indie Dave Comics just did a shout out to Throw Mama from the Train. I love that movie.
The lamp was Jingle Blade.
My people.
Yeah, he did.
That's awesome. Sorry.
Well, that was Scott. Scott did it.
That blows me away, fellas. You know,
Yeah,
'cause-
I'm actually choked up. And yes, I did in fact forget to put the stupid link in the description. So
Well, it's not so
There you-
stupid, no, is it?
now if you guys refresh and lose the connection for moments, you will see in the description of the video a link to the Indiegogo. So it doesn't say what it is, and I need to fix that now too. But
I had to go to Indiegogo and look for it.
Ouch. Well, we
I guess-
appreciate your diligence, Doug.
I guess your backers who backed you were really looking for your project.
No shit.
You should feel good about that.
I do.
We had like
I
50
feel a little
people
bit embarrassed.
when they escaped. Like, screw this.
Yeah, I Googled it and I couldn't find it.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, you know, I searched Tales of Shadow Vox Populi. It didn't come up. Apparently, I made the mistake of using Tales of Shadow rather than TOS. Because that's what the link is, so I should probably come up with TOS. But
Yeah.
or Google just doesn't like you. That's one of the two options.
Well,
Maybe.
Google,
Yeah,
I don't like you.
Google may not like me. That's possible. I don't. In fairness, I have fairly spicy words to say about Google too.
So I have a question for you. Do you think that they're evil robot lizards, or do you think they're evil lizard robots?
Neither. I think they're evil humans who are evil enough to not know that they're evil.
Are they? Yes, but if you scratch them hard, does their fleshy skin reveal a lizard beneath it?
They are reptilian data miners.
So here's a little story. I'm a youth worker, and that's what I've done for many years. Last year, we had the opportunity to take some kids from Western Nebraska to Washington, D.C. for a youth conference. And one of the events was co-hosted by Google in their D.C. office, which is quite swanky.
Wow.
I got to sit in Google on my phone, and this is the message that I put on Twitter. I said I remember it word for word. I said, I'm sitting here in Google, and all I can think about is how their old slogan, "Don't be evil," has been replaced by the new slogan, "What old slogan?"
No, it's like feel good or something like that. So
Yeah. So that's my Google joke. What old slogan?
You're going to wake up in the middle of the night one night, and there's going to be like a Google sticker on your forehead.
I'm going to wake up in a bathtub full of ice. There's going to be something replacing my kidneys. The joke wasn't right yet. I should.
You'll wake up and you'll throw back the covers, and there'll be one of those Google phones like laying under your covers.
They explode.
A severed camera from a Google car that'll be laying in the bed next to me.
No.
So, fellas, we have backers. We will no longer have to sell Reese's kidneys.
okay, let's go over these tiers though that you have on.
Okay.
So you got Rise Sketch, which I guess I pronounce it Rise. It's Reese, right?
Reese, yes, it's a Reese sketch.
It is correct.
So, and a little picture, if you look at it here, actually, let me go ahead and do a screen share, and I'll go ahead and walk through the stuff. And I will also explain my great shame, which is that for some reason, my connection here was bad enough that it didn't let me upload all the pictures for the perk selections. So go with that. What the resketch is I will do a sketch, a pencil and ballpoint sketch, and mail it out to you on a postcard for $1.
Wait a minute. I thought we were trying to get backers.
Yeah, well,
right?
So this little sketch is one of our characters, Game Boy, and I'm sorry.
As in like Nintendo Game Boy, right?
Yeah, sort of. He's the third generation of the gamesman legacy within our universe, and he has the ability to enter into and manipulate any electronic media. So he can live on the internet. He can invade your PlayStation. He can hang out in reruns of Laverne and Shirley, whatever.
And does it have shipping included on it, or what?
What?
Does it have shipping included on it, or what?
Oh, it's $1 shipping and handling on that, which covers the postcard and the mailing. And I'm going to go ahead and laminate these two, so that when as they go through the post, they're not going to just get messed up on the machines.
Hopefully.
But yeah, hopefully we'll see how that goes.
I don't trust the mail for anything.
So maybe I'll try to set his up early as a test.
And you're trying to torture yourself since this is unlimited.
Yes, it is unlimited, but I don't know how many people want my crappy art. So we'll see.
I suddenly feel an urge for our own Google, our own.
Barry's gonna put in like $50 just so he can watch me work my hand and
So if you just want to torture him, just back him like 100 times with just that sketch.
Yeah.
GOP in the chat says the Game Boy of the future is known as Game Boy Advance.
Advanced.
That's beautiful.
Can
I
we
can't
make
believe
a
that we never saw that joke coming.
Can we make a shall we say a Metro Game Boy? Call him Game Boy Color.
Ooh, wow.
No.
No, all right. All right. It was a lovely thought. All right.
Here's part of the little shtick. Here's part of the little shtick with Game Boy is that he doesn't age. He's been 14 since 2005.
Wow.
He's like the Peter Pan of the internet at this point.
Oh, so he's a bastard.
You can follow him on Twitter.
Now, question, Reese.
Yes.
Can Game Boy go into my Nintendo Entertainment System and shoot the dog in Duck Hunt?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Where do I sign?
The dog will come back when you reload. It will effect while he's there.
But he can actually do it. That's amazing.
That's the only superpower that I want.
Yes.
He has a property that we refer to as the interface, which we stole from the Mystery Science movie, Overdrone of the Memory Bank. But yeah, so yeah, he has the full ability to, with his conscious and unconscious and subconscious mind, interface with every part of a computer program or hardware.
So he lives on the internet, and he's been a 14-year-old boy for a long time now. So does he spend a lot of time on Pornhub?
We actually
pretty much grew up.
Intentionally not broach that subject. And mostly, I think if I was to put a lot of thought into it, I think a lot of it is he's obsessed with video games. That's part of his shtick. And he was really based on Chris, on the co-creator's 14-year-old self, where he didn't care about girls or anything, just video games. And so it has more to do with, it's not that he wouldn't, it's just that there's just so many other things to do.
You know, you shouldn't answer that question. You shouldn't answer the question if Superman ever used his X-ray vision inappropriately. Everyone thinks the answer is probably he does, but we really don't want to know about that.
Only Superman knows for sure.
Listen, you lessers, why would he waste his time, huh?
Anyway, moving on from Game Boy. So we also have the we call it the Digital Citizens Arc, which is just the digital comic. It's going to be the 28 pages on there, and it's going to be a PDF so you can read it regularly. We're also doing we're calling Digital Warriors for $4, and that's going to include the digital backer, the Digital Warriors pack, which is going to have a PDF of the comic, a PDF of the poster that will be an insert in our physical levels. We're having like a centerfold poster. And we're going to have also a PDF of a trading card front and back for one of our trading cards. That will be determined later. Okay, and here's where the pictures stop populating. So just the facts is the comic book, right? And that's just the paper comic. It does come with, it'll be saddle stitched, and we're going to be having a roughly 10 by 13 a pull-out centerfold poster that will go in every physical comic.
So who are you getting to print this?
Well, we have typically gone through Comics Wellspring. And the thing with it, I know that they'll be able to do this part of it. Our next perk involves a pinup poster, and I'm not sure if they will do those posters or if they'll get those printed elsewhere. But it will be a same size though.
Don't you have to go +8 every single time you add it, or is it a +4 with them for a page count?
It can be +4.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, you know, you got 28 pages. Usually that would be 32. So 32 implies that you would have some back issue stuff.
Yeah, what we're gonna have with it, with the, it can be just plus. Well, the 32 is gonna have a blank, so that on the centerfold, blank page, poster, blank, as a double page spread, and then a page. And then the story will continue. So if you pull it out, it doesn't affect your reading.
Destroy your comic for the poster.
I'm sorry?
Destroy your comic for the poster.
If you want to, or you can just hold up there. We're intentionally going to be laying the book out so that just like when it has an ads in a regular book, it doesn't affect the reading. You just keep turning the page if you don't want to pull the poster out.
Yeah, I've always loved that about
Yeah,
comics. They have that pull out, but it's like destroy the comic for a poster that you're probably going to destroy.
Well, I like free will, so people decide what they want to do with it.
Just trying to get it out.
I will also point out too that like all of our physical levels involve all the digital stuff of our high digital level. So they're going to get anybody who backs a book is going to get the PDF of the book. Everybody who backs a physical book is going to get the PDF of the book, the PDF of the poster, and the PDF of the one card. We're sending out with that. And then I start at the $7 level. We're going to have a second poster. It's going to be it'll be a pin up where it's folded up and put in the book, but it won't be staple bound in there. That'll be a different poster than the one that would be in there as the centerfold. But it'll be a little pin up that will sit in there like that. So at the $10 level, the Slick Dealer, that's going to come with 3 random cards. One of the things we're doing with this is we're going to make a 9-card Ideal Comics universe card set. And with these 9 cards, for the people in the Slick Dealer level, they get a random 3 cards. Now, I'm going to break from looking at the list here because I want to scroll down here. 2 of our cards in the 9-card set are drawn by Peter Cimetti. So he has been great.
We might have kidnapped him for that.
Yeah, I commissioned these from him a while back ago, and I didn't realize they'd come in trading card size. And when they got to my door, I said, "Oh my God!" And I got on the message and I said, "Please, please, please, can we use these for our campaign?" Okay.
We will send dudes.
He's an amazingly cool dude.
Yeah, he's chill though.
If somebody backs at the level at the Slick Dealer level, they have a chance of getting one or both of these in their set of the random cards that will be shipped with those.
So those cards, are you like, what are the stock that you're going with for those?
They're going to be a heavy grade, like trading card kind of a card.
Well, are they more like are they going to be like straight edged on both sides and be like the sports cards, trading cards, or are they going to be like the Magic the Gathering cards with like?
They'll be like more like sports cards, trading cards. On the back of them, we're going to have a trade dress that was not designed yet, but we're going to work on that. It's going to be kind of like the old Marvel cards where it's got the power levels put in there and everything. And this is a real dorky thing that nobody else might care about. But one of our back burner projects that we worked on in the company is a role-playing system that we've been working on for tabletop RPGs that are specifically geared toward a superhero universe. So our character stats are going to be lined up with that role-playing system. So once we finish that work, you'll be able to add these characters into the campaigns because you'll actually have their stats that you can use for the gameplay.
I'm going to interrupt real quick and just say sorry, but who is loading the bullets into their gun?
Or do you hear me typing something?
Is that what it is? It sounds like someone's popping bullets into their clip.
Well, fellas, looks like fatherly duty is calling, so I better sign out. It's good to meet you guys.
Mariko, thanks for coming by while you could. We appreciate having you here.
Yeah, and thank you everybody for supporting us, man. I mean, they were just exciting. It's like really exciting to see this grow and see this progress, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it, fellas. So
congratulations on your first day and best of luck.
There you go. Thanks a lot, man. Signing off. Have a good one, bud.
Take care. Easy,
See ya.
Yep. Later.
See you later, man.
Okay, so as always, let's go back to the thing after our Slick Dealer level. Double Trouble sharing size is going to have each of our physical elements on there. It's going to have with the 2 inserts and the 2 posters, all shipped together there. So, Fremont City Special is
Wait. Just because you sort of like cut out there. So you're saying that
Okay.
the double trouble sharing pack is all the PDFs, all the cards, and both the posters?
Let me see. If I remember right, I believe it does not include the cards. It's got 2 of each poster and the 2 comics that are in there. I think the cards are not included in that one.
Why not the cards?
Well, that's a good question.
What was the question? Sorry.
Yeah. When we went through it, that's just what we decided. I don't know that we had much that. I can't remember what our reasoning behind that was.
What was the question?
Why are there the cards in the double trouble sharing size?
I still didn't hear that.
Looking at the
In the double trouble sharing tier size,
right.
it has everything except for the cards.
Oh.
Yeah, I believe part of our thing, if I'm remembering this right, is it's 2 of the wallflowers level, and it's $2 cheaper than that. So I think that was part of our determination on that. So, if I'm remembering correctly.
I'm gonna say I don't like that.
Fair enough.
Only like business stuff aside, what you see coming down here is every tier that you go through has just like more of like what it has everything in the last tier and then something else. And then you get to this one and it doesn't have the cards. And
that is a fair consideration. And as we've had nobody claim that, maybe that's something we should reconsider at this point too. So
can we adjust that, Reese?
Yeah, it can be adjusted as long as nobody's claimed it. If somebody claims it, then it has to stay on there. But we can pull it off for future people, but we can't remove the claiming on that. Does that make sense?
Gotcha.
Double books make a lot of sense for international backers, right? Because they're mostly paying for shipping and handling. But
yeah, well, and that's one of the things that we've opted to do just because of the math involved. Is that at this point, we're not shipping international.
Gotcha.
Just because there's so many variations in math, and the last thing I wanted to do was to end up with a situation where where we ask for $15 shipping on something, and we end up having to pay like $32 out, and not see it coming. And because this is it's our second run at this, but it's our first go with something like this, right? Because the last one we didn't complete, so. I don't want to get caught in the middle of not knowing something when I'm so new to everything else, right?
Yeah, and there's some other reasons why you don't want to have that as not having the cards, in my opinion. First off, it's like if I'm going to buy stuff and I'm coming through here and I select it, I'm going, oh, it's just adding one. I'm expecting those cards to be there, and then when I get it and I don't see it, I'm like, hey, dude, where's the cards? I'm going to make that email.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And secondly,
that's a very, very valid consideration.
And secondly, when you're putting this all together, you have to mentally make sure that you don't add those cards. So that will take a little bit extra time to make sure you separate that out. It doesn't seem like much, but it's like probably seconds in reality. But if you get a lot of backers, those seconds start to add up. And it's just something that you have to worry about. It's like, why worry about it?
Yeah, those are all really good thoughts on that. So
well, guys,
I hate being caught out when I realize I've missed something obvious, but I totally missed something obvious. So I have to cover that.
It happens. But I'm gonna have to bail on you guys. I'm gonna take a nap before I got to go to work tonight.
Well, thanks for coming on, Doug, and plugging the old banjo. I really appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate you asking me. You know, I love talking to you guys. You guys are great, and I really wish you the best. And I will be promoting you guys. I want you to succeed. So keep your heads up. Never give up. Never surrender.
Thank you very much, Doug. Appreciate it. Get some rest, bud.
I'll see you guys later.
Yes, sir.
So I want to have you on my channel, maybe next weekend, Saturday. Would that work for you guys? Maybe the creative team.
Yeah, yeah. I have Saturdays. Depends on Reese because I have. Let's see here. What is next Saturday? Look.
It's the 8th. I'm going to be out of town.
All right.
So yeah, I'm probably not going to be available next week. On Saturday anyway.
Yeah, what about the following week?
15th. I should be in town on the 15th.
Okay, we'll work it out on Twitter. And
We'll work it
what
out
I'd like to do like a drawing challenge where it doesn't matter if you're a writer who's not an artist, you still participate in the and Reese has shown like a lot of willingness to do that. But
he's okay.
I like the idea of like getting everybody who just wants to join in to draw the characters, and then also like letting people who are in the chat draw along with us. So
that'd be fun. That'd be.
You mean I can't come on and just be hypercritical of everyone?
I'm down for
You'd
that.
have to draw. You'd have to draw. That's the requirement.
No, I just want to be hypercritical.
Every suggestion you make, I will correct. I will start doing it. Let's do that. What happened to Barry? He passed out. He made it 20 minutes, but Marmaduke wore him out. He broke him.
Bada bing. I'm going to have to head out in a couple minutes. So I just barely lasted him out. Hey, I'm really happy for you guys. Congratulations on kicking off your Indiegogo. We'll have you on. Let's talk about it on Twitter, but maybe tentatively like a week from Saturday.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, cool. Catch you later.
Thank you much, Marmaduke.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll talk to you guys later for sure. So,
Peace.
Keep going if
Peace, Marmaduke.
interested. The $15 is our Fremont City special, we're calling it, and we're back to the formula, everything digital, the print, the 10 by 13 poster. This has, instead of 3 random cards, it's got the full 9 card trading set. So you'll have the whole thing. Now the shipping is a little more because of we are I'm planning on shipping those in a card sleeve in case people don't have them, and I think they'll ship easier, better that way, for display. But yeah, that's what's going on with the $15 level. 20.
Comment on that. You're saying that
Yes.
you don't have anything. You don't have the card sleeves. I would just put the card sleeves on everything, if you can, just because you get the card and it's tore up, it's got a dent in it. You're either gonna have to replace it or you're gonna just have them be disappointed.
I know I'm planning on bagging the comics up too, so that way if we're one less thing hopefully. Our plan currently is to get those Gemini mailers as well. So
yeah.
Just because I've gotten those from Doug, who's gone from here right now, but they're just such a high quality item that last thing I think that's the best way to go with it.
Yeah, and sleeves for cards are like $100, not $100, $100 per dollar, so it's not like a huge cost.
That's not bad. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And that's at retail cost. You could probably get them cheaper if you can find someone that can do wholesale. And well, that's a cheap sleeve, but still, it's a sleeve.
Yeah. So with the
Reese, did we put the perk for maybe putting those metal cards in? Or
I was going to look at.
skip
I
that?
think we had talked about that, doing that as a stretch goal.
Okay.
And still with paper to start with, and then if we and we hadn't figured out the number on that because there was a bit of math on that I had not processed yet.
Yeah, we would probably lose on those, but
yeah, to start with, definitely.
Yeah,
but I mean,
sure.
if we cross that $2,000 threshold, I think we can go ahead and start looking at that. Frankly,
yeah, definitely.
and that would be really cool too.
Do you guys have a spreadsheet or anything like that?
Oh yeah. But
has it calculated so that you can just hit how many orders you'll get, and then you'll see how that translates out to the actual costs?
right,
I do not. Do we have?
it's on my computer.
Okay.
But the numbers that I put in there were not for the metal cards; they were for looking at the paper stuff.
Okay.
I know we talked about the cost of metal, but we didn't go with that right now. I think I believe it's that $2,000 mark where that becomes not burdensome to us.
So it's a stretch goal.
Yeah.
Yes, as a stretch goal. Yeah. So at the $20 level, get the $9 card trading card set and an exclusive Ashcan comic, which is going to be an in-universe story that is not connected to Vox Populi. It's just another story from our universe. We've got 100 years of superhero stories. We've got alternate history dating back centuries. And so there's lots of room to play with in our along up and down our timeline. And so we're going to do a little Ashcan that's going to be, we're not sure which one we're going to do for sure yet. We've got a couple of projects in the works that we're going to make a decision on that next few weeks.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually start working on Rolf's tonight.
Yeah,
And
that's I think one of his is definitely in the running.
yeah, for sure. I'm excited to start working on that one here.
How many pages is that?
I think
Ooh, it's a
the one we're looking at is currently 18.
Okay.
So, but it'll be probably have a cover, but it's going to be an Ashcan size. It's going to be printed smaller, of course, and probably photocopy printed. Just have that kind of indie, underground feel to it.
Yeah, have you actually gone around and asked people what an ash can is? No one
Yeah.
has any solid idea what they actually are. Like, I have an ash can. It's like, okay, what's an ash can? Well, I think it's this. It's like, but that doesn't sound what I heard over this place.
So the Ashcan comics that I'm familiar with are like the ones that Bob Burden used to give out to his subscribers in between publishings of The Flaming Carrot, where it was, most, if not all, of an issue that was coming up, uncolored, on smaller paper and super cheap, as a way of keeping the fans interested.
Yep.
In between things, because his production was a little spotty, and so he had a subscription service and he'd send those out, and that kind of stuff, or in the looking at the people that print up similar things for promotional items at Comic-Con and or comic conventions and that kind of thing. So those are
Go with Greco printing for that too again, right?
I'm sorry?
You're gonna go with Greco printing?
Well, actually, we're gonna get. There's a print shop in town that's worked with us before. That's prices are really competitive for that kind of a product. So we're gonna get bids on that. So we'll and see if we get a better deal. Looking at volume one place or another. So the shop in town can't do full size comics because they just don't have the equipment for it. But for the smaller ash cans we've done in the past, they've given us a really good price, and I like to shop local when I can, So saves on shipping. Plus,
as long as it's competitive, we will definitely go that road.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm all for saving money too.
Yeah, cheapest you can possibly make it without
Losing quality.
Yeah.
For sure.
Or getting to the quality which is acceptable.
Yeah, right. Where is this line? They haven't write it yet, so.
With the Cartographers Unite level, we actually given people the chance to name or have named after them a street in our city. Of course, we deal with fictional cities, but I'm pretty much a stickler for our alternate history and our alternate geography. And a lot of Fremont has been mapped out, but a lot of it hasn't. So people will have the opportunity to up to 13 people to name a street after themselves or anyone they know or anything they think is cool. So I'm going to go ahead and put a veto. I should probably put the description. I can edit that.
No, you can't edit it. Someone already claimed one.
Oh, what? We have one claimed, so I can't.
Oh my God.
Hopefully, the person who claimed it understands that, we we produce comics of all kinds, and
what were you gonna do? Sorry,
as the Crap Town Expressway that there are a lot.
Yeah, no naming things but Crack Alley, right?
Yeah, we have.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
There is a gentleman's handshake that we cannot, unfortunately.
I guess if we can't come to an agreement, we can refund them.
It'll be me buying it and requesting that. It's all right.
And our final level, which we did have somebody sign us up for, is Face the Beasts, and that is the chance to have some of our monsters have very human appearances.
Oh, sweet.
Your face on a monster. So somebody is opted to have their face on a monster.
I like it. That's going to be fun.
Which is awesome.
The way I see that really working is, do you ever read, has anyone ever read the Berserk manga?
No, I haven't. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna.
It's okay. I don't find the premise interesting.
Yeah, it's really, it's a fun dichotomy. Anyway, or not, but either way, the art is good, and I was thinking about like some of the demons they have on there with human faces that mutate. They do a real good job of maintaining the human face on the beast. So I think we can do it. I think we can do it if people are down for that, and it sounds like somebody is.
Yeah, that sounds like an evil way to do something. Is you can have your face on a monster, and then you just create a bunch of monsters with like who absorb people, and they have the face on their belly. Well, your face is on a monster.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
there's a very specific reason for that in the story. That's not part of the first issue. That gets explained in issue 2.
Reese, no spoilers.
Right? But that does have an actual in-story reason. So.
Someone's having fun with Godzilla and
Godzilla?
Yeah. They're making him humanoid.
It's making Charles Barkley.
I think it's Pellegrini, but I don't know if he's the artist doing this. I think he's just retweeting them. I don't know. Pellegrini is just a writer, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But he's not like retweeting from any place, so it's maybe he's going to some of his artist friends and telling him to draw.
That's even better. What did Scott, what'd you do? I'm sorry, I missed it.
He said to check my Twitter, which I'm
okay. All right.
Right here.
I've been in a zone going nuts on the trying to get that done.
Oh dude, Scott just sent us fan art.
Oh shit, yeah. I can trace that out.
Here, I'll go ahead and do the screen.
Scott, what's your Twitter? There it is. I found it. I'm not completely inept.
So it's it should be coming up right here. I'm gonna white box myself. Check that out.
Yeah. Hurry up.
Just taking note of the fact that
Hell yes.
Viewers.
I call dibs.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very nice, man. I like it. See, and a fan's drawing the hat. Actually. Yeah, I do. I definitely appreciate that. So a fan now drew the hat as Green Reese. It's now canon.
I like to point out that he did do it the darker green, which he was talking about on the Ideal stream the other day.
I don't know. I see green. That's what I see. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Scott.
Yes, that's a humbling experience, man. That's awesome.
It is. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
So on Twitter,
never experienced anything like that.
He'd come hang, but he's busy at work.
Ah.
So there you go. No Bob today in the chat. He always cracks me up.
Hey, Scott, you're in Michigan. Which part of Michigan I can turn your gas off?
Also, I don't know if you know Skinny Mac. He's also at work. Oh.
Yeah, you're right, Scott. The apostles of demons. Yeah. The expression. Sorry, Reese, you're cutting out on my stream, which is both win and loss.
I was just reading off some. We got some greetings from some of the folks that I had invited to come check out the stream at work. Several of them are at work tonight. So
yeah, okay. Usually I am going to work at this time, but you know what? I I'm the floater for my job, so I'm lucky enough to be on No More Graveyards for a while. Anyway, sorry, Reese. I was talking over you.
I'm waiting to start to lose followers again.
You said you're debating to start to lose followers, or
No,
you're waiting?
Like what usually happens with my followers is I go up like 10 followers at one time.
Uh-huh.
So I'll get like 295 to like, and I'll get to 295 and it'll go up and down there for a while, and then at some point it'll go up to like 305.
Oh wow!
And then it'll stop there and go up and down. And I'm at 306 right now, and I just got a bunch of new followers over the last few days, so I'm waiting for a bunch to like just start leaving.
Are they bots? Like that's how my Instagram goes. But they have the stupid. There's this app that you can get on Instagram, which makes you subscribe to all these people. You can go through and subscribe every month. The thing is, you subscribe to a bunch of people at the end of the month, and then you just hit the app, and it just dumps like how many you want of them, which can be all of them sometimes. It's kind of a dirty thing, but people use it.
Well, I know how to get rid of followers. I'll just go disagree with EVS on something.
Right? Yeah. It's I've noticed that.
That has kept on happening to me.
Yeah. I've noticed it's there's definitely that theme out there.
No, but I've gotten to the point where the last time I like disagreed with him on something, no one left, so that was good.
Wow. You know, if me and Reese played by the rules of Twitter, me and him would have stopped talking day one. Me and him are always arguing about something, but we work.
This is true.
This is why we appreciate. I mean, to a large extent, opinions and different viewpoints and stuff. It's because I mean we have a good friendship and we disagree on a lot of things. But we agree on a lot of things, honestly. And it's not a pretty disagreement. Sometimes it's just it's not violent per se. It might be vocally violent, but you know.
Yeah, no, disagreement is good. So
It is for sure. It's absolutely it's honesty, and you're getting good conversation that way.
of course it depends on the what you're disagreeing about, but how you're disagreeing.
Yeah,
If you're disagreeing just to disagree, you're being a dick.
yeah, and often that's Reese, and that's why he's wrong every time. So, did you hear me? He didn't say anything. I'm looking at you, Reese. He's nodding.
It's okay. My wife just sent me a funny thing on Facebook, so I was laughing.
Okay, my bad.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Actually, my Amy and I were talking the other day about a very me thing. I'm a fairly assertive person, and I say my opinions as though they're fact.
Indeed.
Because typically, I spend enough time thinking about my opinions, or I'm fairly convinced they're at least next door to fact. If not fact themselves. And I've been wrong, and I don't mind being proven I'm wrong, but there's a certain class of people that take my assertiveness as an inflexibility. And I really just like to have somebody push back and tell me I'm wrong and prove it.
This class is called Reasonable People.
Yeah, see, I put a whole bunch of caveats on to everything I say, and people still think I'm being assertive and saying that I'm right no matter what you say to me. So I don't know what to do.
Yeah, that's the way I choose to do it a lot, because I'm wrong a lot, but it doesn't mean I'm gonna keep on learning and trying to just grow and be interested in a lot of different things. That's where a lot of my there are about 3 things I'm heavily invested in, and there are a lot of things I have interest in, and a lot of those things are where I tend to be less informed, but the things that I'm very much informed on, I'm pretty good. And I usually just back my statements up, and that's usually it's usually spot on enough.
Well, like when someone says something like, I don't know, cars are mobile, just something like that. It's like maybe it's a factual statement, it's like,
right?
But it's assumed that within that statement, like at the beginning or at the end, it's an implication that it's I believe this is true. That's implied. And people are like, well, you're just saying it like it's absolutely the truth. It's like, no, I'm saying it like a normal human being. Because obviously this is what I think or this is what I believe. That's implicit in me saying it, but it doesn't mean it's absolutely true.
Right. You're not saying this is absolute truth. No one else any room to talk about it. That's not all right. People take that, they like to. I don't know.
So I just gave up after a while. I'm like, fuck it. I think cars are like. That's why a lot of times when you see a lot of what I say, it'll be like, I think XX. It's like, why do you talk like that? It's because I'm tired of getting this backlash.
Yeah. Honestly, I take timeouts from Twitter, but that's a whole other story. But you guys probably have seen that. I mean, you've been in the realm with all the stuff that's going on on Twitter. So, and there's a lot of different things. It could be games, from comics, any media. So, yeah, even movies and stuff. So it's like, I'm gonna duck out.
I've handled Final Fantasy XI. That's more toxic than this.
Look. Final Fantasy XI is for big kids, okay? I'm not even going. It's like Harley Davidson Club, Hell's Angels Club. I'll go in there. Final Fantasy 11? No, thank you.
Like that's one of the reasons why I stopped by. I'm like, okay, I can't get any further, and I've noticed I've become more of a dick the more I play this game.
People, there's funny what goes. People, there's a pretty heavy, passionate crowd of people who are into The Witcher, and what they say is accurate with the books or not, and it's pretty nutty.
Like Razor Fist.
Yeah.
Well, he's not passionate about Witcher. He's passionate about Elric.
Okay.
And how much whatchamacallit, The Witcher rips off of Elric.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, according to him, I don't know.
I've never read all the books of either of them, so I don't know. Yeah.
I choose to believe him because he's probably right. He's not someone that is usually wrong about these types of things.
Yeah, I've never. What's his channel called?
Razor Fist, RAZ 0 RFIST.
Yeah, Razor Fist knows his stuff. He is thoroughly researched.
I mean, he's wrong about what's his name? Vince Russo being a cool guy, but other than that, good guy.
Yeah, I'm with you, Metal. I agree.
You guys know who Vince Russo is, right?
Is he the lead singer for Dancing? No. Just kidding. Sorry.
No, he's the head writer, past head writer of WWE, WCW.
Oh.
TNA.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Widely known
Rico would have known who he was. What did Scott say? Haven't got a chance to read it. So he will watch characters.
Chat, Scott said, you want to hear something polarizing? Some people watch monster movies for the characters.
That's true. It's sad. They're this cannon fodder, and everyone should know that.
Well, to be fair, kaiju are characters.
They are. They're the lead cat. They're the lead character. Yeah.
That's the thing that gets me cracked up, though, because I think that a good kaiju movie is about the characters, right? But it has to be written well enough that you don't notice, or because if you notice, it spoils it.
I was gonna say, yeah, the characters cannot take away from the kaiju.
They have to. I think you have to have the characters be real enough to enthrall you, realizing that you're not just watching the monsters tear things up. And without giving it up, because the monsters have their personalities and they rise to challenge and all that kind of stuff. But
and this is why I regret not becoming a teacher or an educator, because then I'd have classes being like, let's focus on the character of Godzilla. What is his motivation here?
Godzilla is king. Let him fight.
Imagine making people write essays on what is Godzilla's motivation for breathing fire on
Oh my
something.
God, I would love that. Godzilla's motivation is to breathe fire so he can breathe more fire.
No, but no, you can actually do some of that stuff with it. In the 2014 one, it's like, what is his motivation for doing the nuclear fire into the Mota or whatever they're called?
No, the mouth.
Yeah. Like, what was his motivation for that?
Didn't the Muta smack him a few times? I mean, this was clearly reckoning, not revenge, reckoning.
Or for the Matthew Broderick Godzilla one,
The
you
best
could,
one,
like,
you mean?
his entire motivation was to lay eggs in that one.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Yeah, it wasn't Godzilla a woman in that one?
Yeah.
I think he was a man who could lay eggs.
Shut up, Reese. That's a lie.
He was like some sort of weird, like,
Asexual thing.
It's
thing.
been a while. It's either that there were two of them and one died early, or that when he got mutated, it was already pregnant, which makes him
Oh, okay.
or he's part of a species that changes sex when there's no male present.
Right. There's that do that, so I mean, I think that's probably what they
That's
were
true.
borrowing from. Damn little crawling lizards. Damn you. I don't know what the hell I'm drawing right there. It just was there. I'll skip it.
Yeah, anytime a movie or anything creative says that shit about it's a male but they asexually reproduce, doesn't know anything about biology. Because if you can asexually reproduce, you're automatically considered a female.
Well,
I have not stopped to think about it, but that does make sense.
I have to start talking with a higher voice now. God damn it!
It's arbitrary for science, but that's how it works. If you're like what you call it in Dragon Ball, fucking Piccolo, everyone's like, he's male, he looks male. It's like, I don't care what biological science says that's a female.
Yeah, per science. That's correct. Piccolo was the baddest female male I've ever seen. Kakarot.
Well, guys, it is we have been on for 2.5 hours, if I'm counting right.
Well, your math is.
I'm about spent. I'm going to be completely honest.
Yeah, I'm wearing down too. I gotta grind this out though, and then get going on.
Jurgen, I want to thank you for sticking out with us. It's been really fun having you on again. I mean,
Build up your endurance.
first time you've been on our stream, Ideal Comics, but you know, I've seen you around.
Yeah, every time I see a stream link open, I try to jump on.
Yeah, appreciate it. And what do I call you again? Is it?
It's pronounced dragon, but everyone gets it wrong.
Yeah, Duraken.
Yeah, everyone says Duraken or Draken or some variation of that. And for some reason, every time someone typos, it's always like Durraken. And I'm like, how the fuck do you even do that? But whatever. I don't care.
So is that your art right there? Did you draw that yourself, or you just beat some little kid up after you had him draw it?
No, I found it somewhere online. I'm not sure if this is the copyrighted thing or not.
That's what I was getting at. Oh,
No,
cool.
there's two of them that I use, and I'm not sure whether this is the copyrighted one or the other one is the copyrighted one, but it's free to use as long as it's not commercial.
Gotcha.
Someone yelled at
Before
me.
we take off, if anybody in the chat has anything else questions to say, go ahead and feel free to ask us up quick. And it takes about 30 seconds from when I say anything to when they hear anything. So, Metal does mention Draken that in the Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick, they specifically said it was a male that could asexually reproduce. So,
Yeah, that's how I responded to that.
Yeah, I think that's what was responsible. Yeah. It makes sense. I mean, I think they were trying to play it that way without offending men back in the day because Godzilla was supposed to be a dude.
Or they just wanted to do something that sounded edgy.
Right. Yeah. Who knows?
And by the way, that film is canon only because one of the Japanese directors wanted to kill the shit out of that version of Godzilla. So they allowed him to make it canon.
Wow, that's funny.
I don't know the exact lore behind Godzilla, but I know that happened in one specific movie that they just had him come in, and then one of the other Godzillas just trashed him.
Jesus.
Oh, that's so funny.
I remember watching that movie. It was so good when you were a young kid. Then you watch it a second time.
Well, no, it's a good movie. It's just not Godzilla. So.
No.
And I have a bias, don't have a bias whether it's Godzilla or not. I don't know much about Godzilla to begin with, and it's the only Godzilla movie other than the 2014 one that I've seen all the way through, and I didn't hear the audio of the 2014 one all that well. So
Yeah. Back in the day, man, those stop animations, they helped me through on TBS many a Saturday.
yeah, I feel you on that. It's in that category with Star Wars where it's not really interested in it, but I respect it for what it is and what impact it had on the stuff.
Right on. Yeah. Star Wars is a funny conversation these days that I don't want to have anymore.
Star Wars sucks. So does Lord of the Rings.
I don't know if I can argue against that now. Anyway.
But Power Rangers rule.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead. I have not seen any new questions come through.
Yeah, I think
And
we're done.
Pull the trip up. Okay. I'm assuming you mean to the Broderick Godzilla film. It's not a kaiju film. It's a romance that happens to have a kaiju in it.
I'm down with that.
You know, all romances need to have kaiju in
Godzilla, that's good.
See, Metal, I know there's a reason I love having you around, and that's just perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and call it a day. Thanks for tuning in, those of you guys who were watching out there in internet land, and for all of our panelists who came on to help us just hang out as we got this. For your backers who are now may listen in the future, thank you so much for making our first day more successful than the first 60 first go round, and it means more than I can even say. So hopefully catch a fire. Payday's coming up here soon for some of the folks, and we can get this thing up there. It's written on the campaign. One last thing I want to say is that we are doing a flexible campaign, and what our commitment is that if we get over that $500 threshold, which is where Indiegogo considers it not an absolute failure and doesn't automatically refund all the money, we are committed to fulfilling all the things. And if that means you've got to find a way to make that happen, we will absolutely do that. So our first goal is getting books in your hot little hands or big hands. Your hands are not my business. Anyway.
Way to make it weird at the end.
I don't know. I tried using a metaphor and it didn't work. Anyhow, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will be back later making comics next week, and of course the Matriarchies Thursday as well. Thank you, Draken, for sticking around the whole time. I said that once, but I'm saying it again.
Because I'm great.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Good talking to you.
Thanks for having me.
Good night, everybody. Keep reading comics.
Horrible.